I'm Karen Thurman, 360 Tournament Players Drive, 310 Lake Bend Court, both in Milton, Georgia. Tonight I'm speaking solely as a Milton resident. It is hard to even watch the news. The world, national, and even local news is almost all negative. Every day we hear about someone whose heart is so full of negativity, hostility, and hatred that they resort to injuring and even killing other individuals, including children. Sadly, sometimes these horrendous acts are done in the name of righteousness. We also hear about children and adults taking their own lives because they were bullied. We must stop these negative behaviors. Those that know me know that my faith is very important to me. When I say my prayers at night, I start by thanking God for sending his son to die on the cross, since this is the very basis of my faith. I then pray for the safety and health of my family, who I love dearly. I then pray for Milton. I pray for all the staff, elected officials, board members, and volunteers that are guiding our great city. I then pray for all the residents of Milton. Yes, based on Luke chapter 6, I even pray for those who curse, betray, and mistreat me and others. I pray for the bullies, for that is what the Bible tells us to do. We are all so fortunate to live in such a wonderful area. We were recently named the richest city in Georgia. Unfortunately, that city defined riches only in financial terms, not in the very things that make the greatest difference for eternity. I know we have residents in Milton that are hurting, some physically and some mentally and emotionally. I pray for those who I know are hurting by name, and also for those individuals that are hurting, but for which I am not aware of their pain. Sometimes we hear about their pain, sometimes we do not. Until the Fulton County Board of Commissioners thankfully found a way to roll back the tax assessments, I know that there were residents that were very concerned that they would not be able to stay in their family home, simply due to their property tax bill. We must all continue to do everything we can to alleviate this and other types of stress and pain for our neighbors. I pray for those in the world, the wonderful country we all live in, and also the city of Milton, whose hearts are full of negativity, hostility, and hatred. When a person's heart is full of negativity, it does not allow God to use the very talents he gave that individual. Unfortunately, sometimes this extreme hatred and negativity turns into violence. We hear far too often that a police officer has been killed or an elected official shot simply because of their position. My prayer is this never happens in Milton. One of the greatest freedoms we enjoy is the right to free speech. It is this very freedom that allows me and others to speak to you tonight. Unfortunately, there are those that choose to misuse this freedom, not to make Milton better, but to promote their own agenda. The term fake news has become a standard term in our vocabulary. This was recently seen where 3 CNN reporters were forced to resign for creating news rather than just reporting facts. We can no longer blindly trust what we hear on the news or read in a paper or in a blog. The phrase, "a man is as good as his word," holds true. The words a person says tells you a lot about that person. It is a person's words that are always negative and hateful and their tone is divisive. We must look at their true agenda. If a person's words betray your trust, what does that say about the character of that person? The city of Milton has chosen to be a city of ethics. This is not required, but something the elected officials chose to pursue. In order to qualify, an ethics ordinance was created that went above the minimum standards, as outlined by the Georgia Municipal Association. The ordinance was approved and signed by the mayor and city council members. The ordinance was then approved by the Georgia Municipal Association. The 5 ethic principles are: serve others, not ourselves; use resources with efficiency and economy; treat all people fairly; use the power of our position for the well-being of our constituents; and create an environment of honesty, openness, and integrity. These are principles all of us in the city should adhere to, not just the elected officials and staff. We should adhere to it not because of the resolution that was passed, but because it is the right thing to do. Honesty, integrity, and loyalty are very important. It is paramount that all those working on behalf of the city possess these traits. The city of Milton must be an environment of honesty, openness, and integrity for all citizens. The city staff, elected officials, and board appointments are required by law to be transparent. You know the members of each of our boards and committees. Our meetings are all advertised and open to the public unless they relate to a few excluded items. All of our emails are available if they refer to any city-related business. I ask that other groups who state their very purposes to make Milton better will do the same and make their members known and their meetings open for all to attend. Let's all work together to make Milton better. Regardless of your religion, I hope you will join me in praying for Milton. 1 Timothy 2 says that we should do so. I believe in the power of prayer, and I will continue to pray that we can all work together to make Milton an even better place to live, work, and raise a family. I ask that the city, individual residents, and organized groups who truly want to make a positive impact be ethical, transparent, and willing to work together in a positive rather than a negative manner. If what we all truly want is to make Milton better, this should not be a hard thing to do. Proverbs 29:8 states, "Mockers stir up a city, but the wise turn away anger." There's too much negativity and hatred in this world. Unfortunately, we individually can do little to stop the hatred in most parts of the world. We do have some control over what happens in Milton. I ask that we work together to stop the hostility and the bullying. We do not need mockers to stir up our city, but caring individuals who are willing to work together. Hopefully, the citizens of Milton can be wise and make Milton a positive, caring, inclusive, and loving place for all. Once again, I'm Karen Thurman. I'm speaking strictly as a resident of the city of Milton.
Thank you. Sue, do we have any more?
That's all, sir.